Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy NeohXO, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Black Clover episode 139. So if you guys enjoy Black Clover content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So this episode starts off with Vanessa sitting alone in the Black Bull's hideout, drinking an alcoholic beverage, having some late night thoughts. And she's pretty much thinking about how the Black Bulls and the Clover Kingdom are going to possibly defeat the Spade Kingdom. Ultimately, she comes to the conclusion that she's going to have to get some help from the Witch Queen. Now, we know that the Witch Queen and Vanessa have always had somewhat of a rocky relationship. We know that the Witch Queen kept Vanessa in a cage for a very long time until Yami came along to save her. Vanessa then tries to leave during the middle of the night, presumably so no one really knows where she's going. We see Captain Yami sitting in one of the areas of the base where the Black Bulls are known for hanging out a lot. Captain Yami sees Vanessa about to leave and he pretty much calls her out. He tells her that none of the shops are open at this time, further solidifying the idea that it's pretty unusual for her to be leaving out at this time. Fortunately, we all know that Captain Yami is a pretty fun guy and he just invites Vanessa over to where he's sitting and he tells her to have a seat. He then proceeds to drink some of her alcoholic beverage and asks her if she wants a glass. She declines the glass, and we see why later in the episode. It's because she's working on personal development and getting stronger, and she's really focused on that goal. Despite how Vanessa may come off due to the fact that she drinks a lot of alcohol, she's very, very caring and considerate when it comes to her friends. That's pretty much the main reason why she wants to get stronger, is because she wants to see people smile. And she knows that if the Spade Kingdom invades the Clover Kingdom, then a lot of people are going to get hurt and she won't be able to see people smile as often. Vanessa proceeds to decline the drink offered by Captain Yami and she heads out towards the Witch's Forest. After arriving in the Witch's Forest, she then asks the Witch Queen if the Witch Queen would be willing to teach her some new powerful spells. To be more specific, some really ancient spells, because we know that the Witch Queen is very, very old. She's over a century old, so she knows some very ancient magic. And this is what Vanessa goes to the Witch's Forest to seek out. As always, the Witch Queen always has an ulterior motive, and we see her being very stern and offering to teach Vanessa this ancient magic under one condition. I think it's really cool how they kept the Witch Queen's personality intact, because I know a lot of times in anime, whenever a character's arc is over, they for some reason completely change a character's personality. But the Witch Queen acts exactly the same way that she did whenever we first met her, and that's a really good thing because there was no need to change her personality. The condition that the Witch Queen set in place for Vanessa to meet before she would teach her some ancient magic is she has to help out and basically train two younger witches named Samantha and Elvira. Samantha's magic allows her to generate sounds, while Elvira's magic allows her to create illusions. So most people would pretty much think that those magic types are pretty useless when it comes to battle, but Vanessa's pretty much tasked with the responsibility of training those two witches. I think it's pretty important to point out that Vanessa is very special, and it seems like pretty much all of the witches know about her. To add on to the task of making Vanessa's job even harder, Samantha is very shy, which she parallels to Gray, and Elvira is very proud, which she parallels to Noelle. Later we get a cameo by Domina, who is Fanzel Kruger's wife, and I think it's pretty cool that we actually get to see this character, because I like when Black Clover brings back older characters, because I don't really like whenever anime forget about characters, and Black Clover always delivers and brings back some old faces who are pretty much familiar to us, but we didn't see in a while, and they tend to bring them back. So I'm pretty happy that they brought this character back for a little cameo. She really didn't have that much importance throughout this episode, but it was still nice to see her regardless. It kind of gave us a little more information on how Fanzel Kruger is doing. Basically, she sells items because, you know, Fanzel can't exactly get a normal job because he's kind of a war criminal. So yeah, he can't really work a regular job, and they pretty much have to do the best they can with the situation that they were put in. Further along in the episode, we see Vanessa actually giving Samantha and Elvira a confidence boost, and she does this by creating little dolls, and pretty much she tells them to give the dolls sound and she tells them to give the dolls some color. So this is actually pretty cool, and it seems like Vanessa's actually really good at teaching, because you know you have to crawl before you're able to walk, and she states that she made the dolls her friends before she had all of this powerful magic. So this part pretty much served as a little confidence booster, because we know that these two witches aren't very confident in their magic capabilities. So yeah, Vanessa had to train them to have a little more confidence. So pretty much these three witches are given a task of finding a solution to the magical beast problem they have. Now there's smaller magical beasts and there's also larger magical beasts, and the larger magical beasts are a problem because they're very aggressive and they tend to eat the smaller magical beasts. I really like how Black Clover is not censored. There's actually a scene where one of the larger magical beasts actually straight up devours one of the smaller magical beasts. And when I seen that scene, I was like, wow, they really just put that in Black Clover with no censoring or anything like that. And I was like a little shocked, because it was like a small, cute little magical beast getting devoured by like this larger aggressive one. Vanessa actually has a very similar idea of creating smaller magical beasts, just like she did earlier with the dolls. So she combines all three of their magic attributes together and little magical beasts, almost identical to the real small magical beasts. Knowing that the larger magical beasts are going to want to eat the smaller ones, they lure the larger magical beasts away to a secluded area. So as they go a little bit more along, it seems like the larger magical beasts actually have them cornered, but Vanessa comes up with a last minute strategy of creating this very large magical beast, even larger than the ones that are attacking them, and it's very menacing. She creates it and then she tells Elvira and Samantha to give it some color and to give it some sound and to make it very menacing and very scary. This actually gives the appearance of a very large creature who is very scary, because they make it roar really loudly and the color makes it look very, very scary. They succeed in their mission of getting rid of the larger magical beasts, and then they head back to where the other witches are. Luckily for Samantha and Elvira, it seems like they're going to be a lot more accepted into the witch community now that they've actually proven themselves more. So then Vanessa pretty much goes back to the witch queen, and she tells the witch queen that she no longer wants to learn this ancient magic. Curious as to why, the witch queen asks what made her change her mind. She goes on to explain that it's not Rouge or Captain Yami who changed her fate, but in fact, it was Vanessa who changed her own fate. So I think herein lies what the moral of the episode is. Pretty much what Vanessa is trying to say is that everyone has control over their own fate. I think that's a very good message to have and a very good lesson to learn from this episode, is that no matter what circumstance we were put in, you still have the ability to try and change your fate. And I think that's a core message of the entire Black Clover series, because we also see how Asta also wants to change his future and he wants to have control over his fate also, and he wants to pretty much shape his destiny. So very good lessons from Black Clover. After Vanessa comes to that conclusion, she goes back to the Black Bulls hideout, and the episode ends in a very similar manner to the way that it begins. Vanessa returns to the Black Bulls hideout in the middle of the night and once again finds Captain Yami sitting alone drinking an alcoholic beverage. Captain Yami then proceeds to offer Vanessa an alcoholic beverage, but Vanessa once again declines his offer, stating that she wants to take her training a little more serious, so she's not going to be having any more alcoholic beverages for the time being. I think that's a really good character development by Vanessa. And that's pretty much what the episode ends off. I think it was a really well done episode with some nice lessons thrown in there. And I really think that everyone will be able to find some enjoyment out of this episode. So with that being said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, please leave me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeohXO, and I'm out.